You talked about some of the tactics there. I mean, how do you go about deciding exactly what tactics to use then?
So again, it depends on what's happening in the funnel. So if I see, let's say, for example, we're taking forever to close deals. Like we've said that we have a 90-day sales cycle, but in reality, even for small fry deals, we're talking about 180 days, even for small deals. Then I'd be like, there's something wrong there. And some of the time, or quite a lot of the time, it's actually trusting that company as a prospect, trusting the company that you're going to invest in because they're a startup. And how do you gain trust? You gain trust by seeing other people use that company, right? So a simple example, during my time at Exponia, we were competing with some of the larger retail or larger tech providers in the market, such as Salesforce, Adobe, and Oracle. Okay, so big multinationals that everybody knows. Like my mother knows who Salesforce are. So that's a good indication that they're big, right? My mother does not work in the tech space. So the thing with that is that you need to prove your worth. And how do you prove your worth? You prove your worth by showing that you work with other bigger brands in the space in which you're selling into. So what we would have done back in the Exponia days is we would have, in contracts with new clients, we would always put in a clause around doing some customer announcement or customer video or something. And what we would do is then, before it even get implemented, we'd be going and having a chat with these guys, getting them on camera and getting them to show the fact, this is why we chose Exponia, because of X, Y, Z. And we did that with a number of big brands in the UK. For example, River Island, Misguided, the Arcadia Group. And we did those things, and we were not big in comparison to the bigger players in the market. But we started to create waves within that space, within retailers, because they were looking at us like being like, oh, hey, Exponia are working together with River Island. That's interesting. And when you get that into the bottom of funnel and you start pushing that out on all channels and surrounding people within those companies which are already an active pipeline opportunity, and you're just drumming that message, we work together with River Island, we work together with River Island, we're able to solve that problem with River Island, we're able to do this with Arcadia Group, we're able to do this with Misguided. That helps speed up sales cycles. So based on your question, it's like, where do I go with that? It depends on where the problems lie. Yeah. That's where the problem. That's a bottom of funnel problem. If we have a top of funnel problem, it's normally because the content that we're pushing out is not great. Yeah. So how do I make it a bit more exciting? How do I make it a bit more like interesting for the prospect? And I'll work on that with the content team, whoever's running content, and then push that out. Right? If we're having problems getting meetings or getting meetings from, we're getting enough leads in, but we're not getting enough meetings from those leads, then I'll look at what's happening in between there. And typically it's because of the follow-up or the outreach. And then I'll look at, okay, how can marketing then help SDRs or sales teams with that outreach by providing them with some advice, but also with things like content. So can we do more written case studies for them, get them into their sequences? Is there something that we can be doing to help them out on LinkedIn? Is there a webinar that maybe we could do in order for them to come in and to get them to invite people to? That's a softer touch point than booking a demo, all of these different things.